Well, I consider this a modern day miracle that Audi actually gave us enough room to remove this condenser without tearing half of the car apart. Now I'm going to eat my words, right? Now we got to remove the headlight connector. Let's see if that gives us enough room. Yes. Here's the beast. I took it off with this whatever muffler assembly. So I'll have to transfer that over, but that's a win. Okay, so we have to transfer over this muffler and pipe assembly to the new condenser. And the way it's held in is by these screws and brackets that just go right through the fins. So 1, 2, 3 looks like 1, 2, 3. Is that it? We just try to buzz those out. Let's see. Wow, it's actually coming out. Miracle. Modern day miracle. There's even Loctite on these. There's one. Let's see if we can do 2 for 2. I'm amazed. There's number 2. And come on, baby, last one. Probably the most corroded. Wow. Sweet. There's number 3. Okay. So put those to the side. Now we need to undo this one. And then replace the O-rings, put some oil in it, because anytime you replace a big AC component you want to add some oil, so a few ounces is fine. And then put that thing back in the car. Oh, this thing is fighting me. Aluminum nut on an aluminum fitting. It's trying to be real gentle. Felt like it was seizing the first few turns. Ugh. Well, see, the thread's a little boogered up. Hopefully it'll screw onto the new one, because we don't have any other options. We're not getting this piece anywhere, I don't think. Alright, so on the new condenser, I'm just going to pour in the remains of this PAG 46 oil, just a few ounces. Make sure it all goes in there. Oh, didn't even do that. Maybe if we undo the other valve here, it'll kind of drain through. Good enough. Now transfer this beast over. Hopefully it screws in, and we'll position this can in the same place on the new condenser. Well, I knew it was too good to be true. One issue here is the this little support. It's supposed to go here and tie to the radiator. Well, what do you notice? This whole piece is bent in. This bracket is smashing into one of the ribs, not the fins, the ribs of the condenser. So this thing was at some point dropped or damaged. So that's tweaked, but that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is on this port right here, where the line's supposed to screw in to here. Guess what? The line does not fit. So that fitting is completely wrong. What do we do now? Take this whole thing back out, reinstall the old unit. That really sucks. It's the wrong thread, it's the wrong fitting. Pipe doesn't fit in, and the thing doesn't even screw on. That's what you get with aftermarket parts, but there's no other option. I don't know if there's an adapter that we can go from here to this pipe. Not much room to work with, but we've got to figure something out. I'm going to measure the threads. This condenser is basically defective. Audi air conditioning condenser. So we wanted to replace this one, which had a spot of corrosion here, some pinholes, and this one, the fitting was wrong on the bottom, and I, for the life of me, cannot find an adapter to go from that to that. And this little tube was tweaked, so I tweaked it back, and now it's leaking right here. So what are we going to do? We have to braze these pinholes. I'm going to try to fix the original condenser. Let me show you where it's leaking. So I got the top port capped off. If I put a little compressed air in the bottom port, you'll see so right here there's more than one pinhole. We have to deal with that. Over here I have some MAP gas, and as seen on Project Farm, these Hobart aluminum brazing rods. So you have to heat up the aluminum to 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not heat the rod. Allow the base metal temperature to melt the aluminum rod. So I've been practicing on this old condenser that has a pinhole near one of the fittings. Just trying to heat this, measuring it with a thermocouple, and you can see, just seeing where the aluminum melts, kind of getting a feel for the metal. So aluminum melts at 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, and this rod melts at 700. So there's a 500 degree window where this should work. So first thing we have to do is clean up this spot of corrosion, see how far it extends, see if we can spot the pinholes on there. This is going to be very thin once we clean off the corrosion, so it might be a little tricky, but we don't have any other options. So let's clean this off with a wire wheel, degrease it, and see what happens. Alright, let's try to clean off some of this corrosion. Okay, so after some thorough cleaning with the wire brush, everything looks pretty good. We just have two pinholes and then a whole bunch of little pock marks. So I want to try to heat up this area to over 700 degrees and just melt that brazing rod over here and make sure it sticks, and then we'll do that same leak check. We can even do it with R134 with a sniffer. That's more sensitive. So right there is our issue. All right, let's put some heat. Paint's burning off there, but we're at almost 500 degrees, almost 600 degrees. We're getting close to the melting temperature of the rod. Looks quick. Alright, so now I want to leak check the original condenser before installing it on the car. So you see I have the high pressure port hooked up. We have a can, and this port is capped off, and this port is capped off, so it's a closed system. Let's put some pressure in here. That should be enough. We don't want to blow anything up here in terms of the caps. Oh man, dang it. Dang it. Still leakage. That sucks. I'll just spray this with a soapy water here. Can we see the bubbles? Ah. Good thing we did the leak check. It's bubbling all over the place. Not as bad as before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. So we're gonna have to remelt this, do it over again. Unfortunately, I'm gonna call this a complete failure. So I guess when the rod fuses to the aluminum and lowers the melting point, and now the whole thing is just blowing a hole through the whole thing, like through the top and bottom. This is a complete disaster. There's a big block of melted aluminum. Dang it. Maybe a radiator shop try to fix my Hiroshima. I don't know. What a bummer. Well, got both bad condensers loaded up in the Audi. We're going to take a little trip to a local machine shop. The guy said he knows some professional welders, so that's a bad spot. And on this one, I wrote, there's a hole right here where we tried to bend the pipe away. And then the lower fitting is wrong. The threads are too small, 5/8 18 versus 3/4 16 threads per inch. So we'll see what they can do. I'm just going to tell them we have 2 bad ones. Can you make 1 good one? Well, I guess we're never done with this 91 Audi. It's been here over 2 months, and the owner says he has another condenser on the way. Hopefully this one won't have any shipping damage. It'll be in one piece and we can install it and finish up this car. One thing that I've been noticing is when I park it out in the lot for a few days, the battery gets completely drained. It won't crank. Parasitic draw. So I want to catch it in the act and hopefully fix that too before the owner picks it up. So right now, car's off, key is out, and look at this. Over 300 milliamps on the meter. So it's an in-series meter. That's how you want to measure parasitic draws. What I noticed was the power window switches are still lit up and you can operate the windows. Car's off, keys out. What can explain that? Let's take a look at the wiring diagrams. And one thing I did notice, I played around with it for a little bit. The draw will go away if you open and close the passenger door. However, it will not go away if we open and close the driver's door. So let's try that. Okay, so there's the parasitic draw, 300 milliamps. If I open the driver's door, it goes up to 1.8. That's because the dome lights are on. When I close the door, it stays at 1.7, and in a few seconds the dome lights will time out. Click, 300 milliamps. And we can still activate the power windows. So, and if I open and close the passenger door, this will go down to 7 milliamps. Let's take a look at the wiring diagrams, see what's up with these, how the doors could affect this reading. Okay, so here's the OE track style diagram for all of the door jamb switches. The right rear and the left rear are simple, 2-wire units that pull this door ajar warning light lamp down so it'll illuminate the light on the dash, and also it controls the interior light control unit. This is the delay unit. That's why the dome lights stay on for a minute after you close the doors. So the wire's tied in right there. That's probably a power feed. And then you can see this control wire is also tied into all the door switches, so it can control the dome lights. However, the right front and the left front door have fancier switches with 3 wires, so both wires are pulled down to ground. So one of them has to do with the dome lights, and look at the other. There's 2 more tie-ins here. So right front and left front switch go to 300 and 302 tracks, and if we go to 300 and 302, they go to this power window sunroof control unit. So it looks like when you exit the car, or when you turn the key off but you don't open the door, it still allows you to open and close the windows. It's a convenience feature. And then when you get out of the car, it'll shut off the main power window, relay. So the fact that it shuts it off when you open the passenger door but not the driver's door tells me there might be a problem in this door jamb switch. So let's go over here. Look at our draw. 300 milliamps, and it goes up to 1.8. And we can still control the power windows. So I'm going to touch this switch right here and just wiggle it and see if anything changes. I just literally touched it and we went down to 1.5. That's that 300 milliamps. Look, the power windows are off. And now we'll wait for this to time out and see what the final parasitic draw is with that power window relay disabled. So it looks like it just might be a sticky door jamb switch. It should be an easy fix. Okay, dome lights are still on. Click. There we go. 7 milliamps. That's beautiful. So this will be a quick and easy repair. Let's get this door jamb switch out, and hopefully we can just swap it with the passenger's door because that one works fine. because the driver has to open the door to exit, and that's what we really care about. Okay, got the door switch popped out. You see there's two wires here, and they're grounded through the little screw to the body. So pretty simple. Let's remove it. We can even take it apart, maybe clean up the contacts in there, and we swap it with the other one, or just fix this one and reinstall it. Well, here are the guts of the door switch. You can see there's metal plates that go all the way down, and then the third one is tied to the screw. So this little metal piece, when the button is extended, the spring forces it against those contacts, grounding the two legs to the screw. So one of those was not being grounded reliably, but when you tweaked it, it would be okay. So the button goes down in there, like so. And then we can just spray a touch of deoxit in there. Looks like this went in that way. I don't know if I'll be able to reposition it carefully. Let me put this back together and we'll bench test it. Okay, here's the bench test of the switch. So I just have a ground here and a power, 12 volts through a test light. So right now the switch is grounded. If I even start pushing it, that seems to be pretty reliable. And then this one, same thing, so it just grounds both pins when the button's all the way out. Okay, let's reinstall in the car, make sure the parasitic draw is no longer present. Alright, let's verify the repair. So we'll do key on cycle, windows work, take the key out, windows still work, and when I open the door, windows stop working. That's it, no more parasitic draw. We don't even need to look at the meter. That's the proof that the repair is good. So again, key on cycle, windows work. It works. When we open the passenger door, they stop working. Key on cycle again, and open the driver's door, instant off. That's it, I'm happy with that. So last step will be to again evacuate the AC system, install the third AC condenser. We'll see if hopefully it's not damaged, and then ship this thing. So stay tuned.